commenting code is a very common practice if you're coming from the programming side of things. But if you have no programming experience, it's something that's somewhat foreign to get used to doing. So I wanted to devote a specific movie to talking about commenting and show you how to do it in Dreamweaver and some specific things to watch for when you are commenting code. So what I have open is display variables. And this is a page that simply sets two variables, one called fname and one called lname, to my name. And then it's going to output those variables in a sentence to the page. So right now, this page, if I preview it, is going to look like that. Even though it's a sentence, I probably should have a period at the end of it, but I won't worry about that right now. Now, there is another way to preview pages. I'm in code view at this point, just to show you a little bit easier what's going on. But this button here, called Live View, if I click on that, you'll see what it does is keep the code on the left, and it's going to output my information. In other words, run it through the PHP processing to show you the page in PHP. So this is a quick and easy way to get a feel for what you're creating as you work in Dreamweaver. This live view speeds things up, so if I need a quick view, I can click Live View. It does block a few things off you may find throughout the program, and this particular version I'm using is a little bit better that way. But in case you find yourself locked out of editing within Dreamweaver, just uncheck that code, and you'll see in Design View, it just shows you this, which is why I'm not using Design View. So I'll go back to Code View, and we'll take a look at this. Now I have some comments set up here. The comments are showing up in orange within the PHP code block. If I move these out of the PHP code block, then they would not be stripped and they'd be sitting on my web page. I'll show you what I mean by that. So they're inside my PHP code block. I'll put this out in the browser. If I go out to View Page Source, you'll see I have no comments at all in here. PHP strips those out for me. If I move these outside of the PHP code block, then PHP would ignore them. In other words, the only thing PHP worries about is what's between the opening and closing PHP tags. So if you ever happen to see your comments displaying in the browser, your PHP comments, that's why. Just move them into the PHP code block. Now, what if I wanted to comment out this line of code? The quick and easy way to do it is, as long as you're in code view, you get this coding toolbar on the left-hand side, and I can click this one. It looks like somebody talking. Click on that, and you can see there's a PHP comment right here. Now, this particular type of comment, you can see it's actually putting it inside a code block. Not necessarily what I want. So it kind of messed up my page here. So Control-Z or Command-Z will always take you backwards in Dreamweaver. And it takes you back quite a few steps. So you don't have to worry too much about making a mistake. The easiest way to comment PHP code is simply put 2 forward slashes in front of it. I can type them by hand, or I can go over to the code block here, select my line, click here, and hit this middle one. You can see it turns orange. That is a single line comment. I can also, in PHP, use this comment. You'll see it still turns orange. So there are a couple of different types of comments. To remove one, click Remove Comment. So I'll put that right back to where we started. But just to show you, it's really easy to comment out code and re-comment it. So I'll select it, click this, and you can use either one of these two pieces here. Those are the easiest ways to comment code. Now, it's very important to put comments in 2, 3, 6 months from now, especially when your PHP gets very complicated. You don't want to have to read through the entire page process, which might be using multiple pages, in order to figure out where the area is that you need to modify within your code. So as you're building pages, please comment your PHP code blocks. Here is an opening code block in PHP. And immediately following that, just get used to adding comments. As long as you do it right away, It's not a big deal, and it will really help you in the long run. If you don't do it now and you plan to come back in and add them later, it just will never happen. So make sure you're commenting your code throughout this course. I don't have time to do that, but when you're working within PHP or any server-side language, it's a good plan. Always comment your code as you create your code blocks. So that is commenting code and how to do it, not just in PHP, but how to use Dreamweaver to do it for PHP.